Welcome to Success in Selling to the Government. That's why we're here today. We're glad that you guys decided to join us today. We got all kind of stuff to talk about. We're going to bring you up to speed on some FEMA things, as well as the fact that we have $1.2 trillion that was already budgeted for this fiscal year before we got into that, and it was all needed to be spent within 170 days. Now, we also have $2.2 trillion stimulus package for emergency response grants and loans. Everybody is going crazy about those things. We have another stimulus package that's going to be coming to address infrastructure and manufacturing in the United States. And whether or not you think we need it, oh my gosh, it's insane. One of my clients is an LED manufacturer, and they're importing masks from China. They literally went up 30 cents baseline, 30 cents on both the KNs and the N95s yesterday, one day. In the past 2 weeks, it's gone up more than 80 cents baseline. The things only cost, when you're manufacturing these, they costed less than 50 cents a piece, period. Now they're over, just the wholesale price is over $4.30 for one single mask. And so we're working on that. We're working with them to help facilitate manufacturing here in the United States. But the fact of the matter is that there's a whole ton of freaking money that's getting spent in the federal government, and we all want to get pieces of it. And if we're not getting in front of key decision makers right now, folks, right now, our competition is going to win again, because they already know who the competitors are. I'm Dave Lowe. I'm the CEO of ISI Federal. We make federal contracting manageable, profitable, and fun. Why? Because profit is fun. I'm not saying greed is good. I'm saying profit is fun. So a little bit about ISI Federal. We've been helping companies since 2009. Since then, over $440 million. If you start counting the kind of stuff that's been happening in the past 3 weeks, it's well over $450 million. We need to update the slide. We'll be talking a little bit about the 64 million plus federal contracts, the 1.2 million federal contacts, the 3.1 million vendor contacts, and the 132,000 program managers that we have and 70,000 active buyers. These are the people that you have got to know. You got to find out how they're operating in your marketplace, and you've got to go out and get out in front of them. We do professional business development support, including face-to-face, well, virtually now, face-to-face representation here in DC, and it is definitely faster than if you could do it yourself. I'm not even going to talk about doing it yourself anymore, because you don't have time. We're going to talk about GovBrief a little bit, where we make you the expert. We research the initiatives and we interview you. We're doing a briefing at 1 o'clock. Again, it's going to be just like this. It kind of looks like this, but we repackage it and push that out into the marketplace. Get you remembered and get ahead of the RFPs. Very important. Rafael Marrero is not here with us today because he is getting too famous to show up with us, Jamie, apparently. And I say that all in jest. He is awesome. He's all over the place. And this is him in front of, he's wrote a book, La Salsa Secreta, Del Tio Sam, and I know I probably butchered that very badly, because I am totally white when it comes to these things. And so, but anyway, it's a bestseller book, and this is him in front of Telemundo. Like I said, he's going to be in CNN in a day or two, either tomorrow or I think it's tomorrow is what he said. So, but the biggest thing that he's focused on, the reason why they're pulling on him, he does the certifications. And oh, by the way, those certifications are leading to the ability to get the small business financing. And that's why people are demanding that Rafael comes by. Jamie Zell is the president, El Presidente of GSA Logic in Ohio. And Jamie had been under the weather. He was pre-coronavirus, corona sick, weren't you?
I was testing the virus before it was officially in the area. Went through a very difficult time, sick like I've never been, but climbed out of that doing real well again. As a whole, Dave, we've never been busier either. And I think what people are realizing is that the government is marching on, and they have to fulfill their mission no matter what is going on. And other businesses may be slowing off, sending people home, whatnot, but the government must march on, and they've got budget to spend, and they got to burn that budget just like they always do every single year, which is going to be an even crazier September. Now, what we do is the GSA part of it. New schedules. If you got a schedule, make sure it's current and correct. We do revisions to GSA schedules, keep them correct, up to date, give you an offering that makes sense when you get it in front of federal buyers, program and project managers, show them something with current dates. So we're on the GSA side of the house, very affordable solution as far as that goes. But I can't tell you, again, just bouncing back, I got a call last Saturday night at 8:40. Ladies got masks. Ladies got, what else did she have? And hand sanitizer. Sitting on inventory, trying to break into the market. I said, well, you might try calling during the week, during the day, but you really need to get in front of the right people. And actually, I sent her over your way, Dave, because I knew that she ultimately needed to talk to you to find out the right people she should be talking to.
Well, I appreciate that, man. And I literally have talked to 1,000 people about this stuff last week. It has been insane. So we will talk more about your GSA, what GSA means and what it is. Greg Clark, are you here? I don't see Greg.
I don't see him either.
There's no Greg Clark. All right. Well, in that case, if you proposal writing, very important, very important. A lot of proposals hitting the street that don't have the competitive landscape that they usually do because it's just a flurry of activity, amazing amount of activity, folks. It is crazy right now. So as we're working through this, reach out. You can reach out to Greg, and I'll highlight him in a little bit. A little bit about this webinar. It's always free. Every second Tuesday, 11 a.m. Get the dialogue with federal sales experts. Jamie's going to talk about GSA schedules. We're going to talk about emergency response. We're going to do something we usually charge money for. I'm going to give you little bits and pieces of it so that you can see how FEMA works. We're going to talk about that, winning strategies, tactics, show off a little bit about ISI Federal so you can get something done in this place. So with this, I'm going to open up this here poll. Do you have a GSA contract? You had one and lost it. What happens? How could you possibly lose a contract, Jamie Zell?
If you don't keep it active, if you don't make sales with it, and it sits dormant, GSA will ultimately cancel your schedule because it's a resource they have vested time and energy in, and you got to keep it active or you will lose it.
There you go. So with that, you can find out you have a GSA contract. You had one and lost it. Nobody lost it yet. I want to get a GSA contract, or I'd like to determine if you need a GSA contract. We're going to give you another 5, 4, 3, a 2, a 1, and okay. There you go. So it breaks down like this: 25, 50, 25. There you go. And if you do have a GSA contract, this next slide is for you because you can use Quick Fuse. If you don't have a GSA contract, you can't. QUIKFUSE.com. It's GSA eBuy notification. And guess what? There's more stuff hitting on eBuy that you could possibly imagine. And I'll bet you if you have a GSA contract, you have trouble logging in sometimes. Maybe you forget. Maybe you've missed some opportunities that would have been good for you, and Quick Fuse will help you not miss those. You can test drive it for 30 days, and guess what? If you stay with it for a year, it's a 500% guarantee. That means if you don't sell 5 times the amount that you spend on Quick Fuse, which is about $1,000 in a given year, guess what? Free. F-R-E-E, my favorite 4-letter word, and we haven't had to refund anybody yet, Jamie Zell. Tell you that right now. This event is not affiliated or endorsed by GSA or any other agencies, provided to you, the audience, for informational purposes only. And if anybody does come in from the government, this is saying that they are not obligated to buy from you or me or anybody else, and it's not an endorsement or a commitment to purchase from anybody. So we got that out of the way. Little bit about the controls. If you want us to make us a little bit larger, you can grab this here little doodah thing. Could be on the top, could be on the bottom, could be on the side like that. And you can make us larger, or you can make us disappear altogether. You can open up that panel on the right-hand side. You can raise your hand. You can ask us questions. You can chat them to us. And if you called in on the phone, make sure you dial in that little pin thing and hit the pound sign so that we can unmute you and dialogue. There are handouts here. I think. Are they there? Yes. 4 out of 5 handouts. So you can download the handouts, and they include the 90-second challenge. Because guess what? Beta.sam.gov sucks. And we have an answer coming to you called beta.sam.bid. It won't be long, and we'll be reaching out to you to show you that, because it is a tool that works just like QuickFuse, and they'll send it to you right away. You never have to log in to see your stuff for beta.sam.gov. The only reason you have to log in is if you need to let them know that you're going to be a vendor of interest, and we can talk about that another time. So there's ISI federal capabilities, as well as my Going for Gold ebook, which is 10 years old now, but we're going to redo that and come up with some good stuff. So why are you here today? Let me see if I can grab this. You're new to the federal space and you're looking for information. I have a federal business and want to grow. I love that one. I need help finding buyers. You can pick as many as you want, by the way. Finding buyers for my products and services. I need help marketing my company to the federal market. Or some nut sent me an email. Somebody's got to choose that. Somebody's got to choose that one, because it is absolutely true. I've sent over 1 million emails in the past week. Not more than that. I think it's almost 2 now. So with that, we're going to give it up 5, 4, 3, you can do it. 2, it is painless. 1, and boom. All right. Here we go. That's what we got here, Jamie. We got a whole bunch of folks. Some people think I'm nuts. Can you believe that? I can't believe that. Can't believe that there are people that actually think I'm a nut. All right. We're here because we want to win federal contracts, for crying out loud. And in order to do that, Jamie Zell, who was talking a little bit about GSA before, Jamie, there's a couple of aspects of GSA contracts, or maybe they can get a GSA contract. What are they? Do you need one? How can you get one? And how do you make money with it? So tell us what they are first off.
Well, are we talking about the schedule itself? What is it? Or what are the requirements for that?
You can give me both. You can, first of all, what is it? And then tell us how you can get one in a minute. So what is a GSA schedule?
Yeah, GSA schedule, also known as a GSA contract, and it means the same thing, also called Federal Supply Schedule, or FSS, Multiple Award Schedule, MAS. Again, all labels for the same physical end result. And that is where you have built a relationship, a pre-existing approved relationship with the federal government, where you've gone through and proven yourself as a company that is solvent, good past performance, good products and services, and has been awarded that GSA contract, and you use that as a tool in order to solidify the relationships that you make and win business with it. It does a couple things for you directly, and that is, for starters, when you come to the table, one of the things that you develop with your GSA schedule is pricing that is approved as fair and competitive up front. Federal buyers can go straight to purchase without having to go out and shop. It can also reduce the shopping circle, and maybe they're going to check with you and 2 other approved GSA schedule holders. Again, it tightens the circle of competition. It also allows you to use that GSA schedule even in non-GSA environments. You might be trying to sell to a group through Army Chest or NASA, and they don't buy off GSA, but coming to the table with a GSA schedule means you're serious. You're in the game. You've got your GSA schedule. Once you've got that, you want to make sure that you're putting it on your website, your business cards. You use it during your introductions. Let people know that you have it, because it means that you've been through that approval process, and there's value there. So you want to use that everywhere, but that's something that it also, from an investment perspective, you get your GSA schedule, the thing lasts for 5 years. And then once it goes 5 years, you renew it for 5 years, 3 more times. So that same common investment takes you 20 years up the road. And I don't know of any other pre-approved contract that goes that far besides GSA. That's one of the unique attributes to GSA, and a darn good reason to have it. And unless you're selling ammunition, which is the one thing that isn't on GSA, typically there's a home for everything: engineering, computer services, carpentry, I mean, you spin the wheel, think of something. HVAC. There's going to be a home for you at GSA. Get one, use it. If it works just a few times, the thing's paying for itself, and make it be a great investment by really working the GSA system. Go ahead.
What are some of the restrictions? What do you need to have in order to get a GSA?
You need to come to the table with a company. Length of time in business is one thing. Typically 2 years from your date of incorporation. It should also have your own website and email address. I rarely run into this anymore. Actually just did yesterday. It still happens, but come to the table with your own website and email address. If you don't have one, we can point you towards resources to get that done. You want to have substantial sales for the services or products you're bringing to the table, and then invoices to prove that. And that's important. You can't say, here's what we can do, here's what we could do, here's what we are doing, here's the invoices that prove that. So
that's really important, Jamie. You just mentioned something, that it has to be something that you are doing, not something that you can do. And that there's a catch-22 in there, because once you get involved in the government, they're going to be asking you to do things that you may not have ever done before that you can do or could do. But getting on a GSA contract is that you have to have done it, right? You have to have illustrated through invoices, through past performance too. They're going to check on your references too. And that's why it becomes such a great tool for being able to say that these are acceptable prices that folks are, that you have already charged, and you're giving the government the best price. Doesn't have to be the super cheapest. And you don't have, biggest thing for me, well, I'll lay this out there, is don't compare yourself against everybody else. Compare yourself against what you've done and set your pricing accordingly. And you want to get the best price you can, because you can always discount off your GSA contract. So keep that price as high as possible. They're going to try to knock you down. They're going to try to negotiate you down and say, oh, we're the biggest customer on the planet. And we want the best price. You're going to have to give them the best price. However, make sure you don't let them drive you into a place where you're not making enough money, or to be able to discount off of that. We have had rates that we've put in. Jamie, you helped us with DCC years ago. We had rates of program managers that were $400 up an hour because we did our comparisons right.
Right.
And we compared it right. I've seen program managers going out for $98 an hour. And it's very difficult to fill that as a program manager nowadays, because, hey, the economy's, well, the economy's in the crapper right now, but it was raging, and you couldn't find anybody to do that work, and it's gonna come back as well. So yes, and then we're going to talk about how you make money with it. But you mentioned a couple of areas, because you have those pre-negotiated prices that are negotiated. They can use those pricing to create BPAs. Even if they don't buy off your GSA, they can create a BPA using your GSA numbers. And
right.
It also gives you access, depending on some states even can purchase off, state and local governments can purchase off of it, depending on the schedule, right, Jamie?
Exactly correct, yes. Yep. Especially toward the technology side, which is huge. Now, I will say, I want to add something as we're looking at the fourth bullet there down below, making money with it. There's a lot of companies that do what we do that'll tell you, get your GSA schedule, stop by the front lobby, pick up your sales orders. And it just automatically happens. And it doesn't. Think of your GSA schedule as the ticket to get into the fun park. Then you got to find out who you need to go see. And you need to go build those relationships. It's the same within any world of sales, whether it's college environment, whether it's corporate, whether it's the federal government. These are real people with real needs, same as you and I, and you got to go find out who those people are and then match up what you bring to the table to what they're looking for, or find the people that have a need for what you're looking for, and you build relationships based on that. And it's super important. That's how a good GSA schedule becomes a great GSA schedule, and how the federal government becomes your best customer and not just a customer.
I could not agree more. Could not agree more. That's great information, and we'll give your contact information out as well. So, the next thing that I want to get to is the number one thing that the government tells you to do. They tell you, they used to say, go to FBO. Call them up. We put everything on FBO. Is that true, Jamie?
No, not even close.
Nay, nay. And in fact, I want everybody to take the 90-second challenge. It is in this. All you want to do is you want to download this from the handouts and just click on the links. It's 90 seconds, if that. So by the time you get it, you click on it, it'll take 90 seconds. It's a minute and a half to find this out. 98% will never go to beta.sam.gov or when it was FBO. 98% never hit there. And then you say, well, how can that possibly be? Well, I'll tell you why it can possibly be, because 76.4% of all the contracts have less than 5 competitors. But that can't possibly be. Yes, it can possibly be if it's not all going to FBO or beta.sam.gov, God forbid. And guess what? 38% have 1 response. How can that be? It can be because they can put this information, they can put these out and put these requirements out to 3 GSA schedule holders or 2 WOSBs or 2 veteran-owned companies or 2 hub zones or 1 8A firm. So that's how it works. And if you get your certifications, you can actually leverage your certifications. So I'm going to ask this question. How important is it, Jamie, you said this earlier, how important is it to get to these people before it comes out on the street?
It's pinnacle importance. It's of pinnacle importance.
Yeah. Is it critical? Is it very important? Is it somewhat important or not important at all? And everybody better pick one of the first 2 or you need to go.
I'm leading with critically, because if you're not driving, the bus is going off the cliff.
That's right. If you're not driving the opportunity, your competitor is. That's one of our rules. All right, we're going to get to some questions in just a minute. Give another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and boom. There you go. So we have any questions? Raise your hand. If you have, if you want to dialogue with us, you can raise your hand. You can chat it into the question box. I don't see anything yet, which means we're either putting everybody into a coma. And I didn't get the marketing emails out like I normally do because we've been selling millions of masks. And I got wound up helping one of my clients. So we're doing that, not doing our own marketing. So. But we do appreciate any questions that you have. Yes, this will be made available later. We record this, and you can watch as many times as you want and submit it to for an Academy Award and all the. If you're having any trouble getting the handouts, we'll put out a recap email as well. Okay, that's it. All right, we'll go. So here we go. I'm just going to ask this question. I pulled this from our FEMA presentation. Everybody that's here ought to know that this went out this is pieces that we charged $200 for. Just saying. If you want to see the whole presentation, it's $225, and I'll be glad to you just let me know if you want that. So have you ever won an emergency or disaster recovery contract? This is huge right now, folks. Huge. I'm going to tell you what happens in an emergency and disaster acquisition. This goes to the Stafford Act. You might have heard some of the smatterings about this because it is a national emergency. Every single state has been declared an emergency place. Here's what happens when you have an emergency and a disaster acquisition. It doesn't require emergency declaration, but we've got it. And SAM.gov is required for disaster response registry. You need to go into SAM.gov and make sure that you are updated and click. It's just a check mark. Click on disaster response registry. Now, there's a little bit more to it than that. So I recommend if you need help in this and do it right, shoot me an email, respond here. I'll connect you with Rafael Marrero and he'll help you get that stuff done right. Here's the biggest thing. Flexible awards, fast turns. We have situations that are happening right now with masks. Masks have increased in price, baseline price, 80 cents in the last 10 days. Last 10 days. Any GSA schedule that had masks on it, Jamie, their numbers aren't even close, are they?
No.
No, they're not even close. So now they have to have some other vehicle, because you can't do it up against your GSA contract, because you can't. You'll be bleeding money faster than you can possibly imagine. So limited sources, rapid response streamline. They can go to GSA, BPAs, IDIQs, interagency advanced planning, all this stuff. Bam, 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 pre-negotiated, and the pricing and the terms can change. You can get paid up front with this contract mechanisms. And waivers are not required for most mandates. That means they don't have to set it aside for small businesses. They don't have to set it aside for 8As. They don't have to set any aside for veteran-owned to buy for the VA, even now. Pricing and terms, as well as protests. This is huge. Protests can be overridden by the contracting officer. Boop, goes away. Don't talk to me anymore. Why? Because it's an emergency. We have people in trouble, we have people dying, and it allows for extraordinary contractual actions. Very, very important, because everything can be mapped around the emergency and disaster acquisition process right now. And that's why we want to let you know about FEMA. FEMA is part of DHS. There's 23 sub-agencies. You can see FEMA up there. Federal Emergency Management Agency. That's what FEMA stands for. And they are part of DHS. Now, we all know about FEMA's mission pretty much, but it doesn't hurt to get it into your mind, because every time you're talking to somebody at FEMA, this is their mission. And FEMA's mission is to support our citizens and first responders and ensure that as a nation, we work together to build, sustain, improve our capability, and prepare for, protect against, respond to, and recover from, and mitigate all hazards. Everything that we do right now pretty much can be factored into that, because we are all in the same position. And if it's planning, and you're going to have training, you're going to have every type systems, your IT systems, making sure that they're up to date and automated and capacity to do that. It was established in 1979, transferred to DHS in 2003 after September 11th. That's one of the pieces there. They spend a lot of money. And I know it doesn't sound like a lot of money when you hear trillions of dollars thrown around nowadays, but billions is still a freaking lot of money, isn't it, Jamie?
It sure is.
So there's 10 regional operations. I'm not going to read them off, but you can see how they're broken up. And you can see that Puerto Rico, for instance, is in New York, in New York's segment. So you have a whole lot of potential. And my recommendation is you take a look at FEMA.gov, take a look at their operations, and find out where they operate. FEMA, there's two different sides of the house. You have block grants, talking about what's flowing through FEMA. A lot of the trillions of dollars is flowing through FEMA, going down through the state and local. And you see the connectivity with the comfort being up in New York and all the rest of the coordinations. There's a lot of that. Some of that money flows through block grants. I'm not an expert in block grants. I know that they exist. I know that they flow from FEMA through your state and local agencies. My recommendation is for you to take a look at what's happening in your state and local areas to see if you can help there with the disaster recovery funding and those resources, right? And you don't have a packet, so don't even look for the packet because it's not there. But we will talk about contracts, and the contracts are where we specialize in. There's two different sides. There's emergency support functions, and then there's recovery support functions, and ESF and RSF. And let me ask you a question. Are you interested in one of, I can't ask that. That's not even in our poll. That was in the regular one. So I'm just going to blow past the polls because this doesn't work here. Emergency support functions, you will see where FEMA lines up. ESF number 5, 6, 7, 9, and 14. So you have all these functions that are here that are handled by FEMA. You can see the information and planning. We did some work with Texas A&M, who did training with best story ever. Best story I will ever have in any briefing, I think, is here they did training for the New York the Transit Authority, right? New York Transit Authority and New Jersey Transit Authority, of which the sub of that is the water transportation. And 30 days, within 30 days after of that training, Sully put the plane in the Hudson. So they converged their communication structure. Everything that you saw in that movie was orchestrated and understood. Everybody knew exactly what to do because it was fresh in their mind, because they just had the training. And that's one of the reasons why it worked so well. Not the only reason, but one of the reasons why it works so well. So when you talk about recovery support function, RSF, you'll see where FEMA plays a role in this. You're also going to see a smattering of other agencies. A lot of things happening with HHS right now, CDC, right? So, and you'll find that a lot of these organizations, Army Corps of Engineers, Infrastructure Systems Recovery Support Function, all those pieces. Our Army Corps of Engineers is directly involved right now with a lot of that. And you have Department of Commerce, you have everybody that is working together. FEMA does the oversight and helps to coordinate and have the things flow through. Right now, we have a lot of things that are happening with HHS, with the Health and Social Services Recovery Support Function. And that goes direct with the Assistant Secretary of Preparedness and Response for ASPR. I would like to direct you to ASPR. That, if you look that up, ASPR, and it's the Assistant Secretary for Preparedness and Response, ASPR. And it is exactly where a lot of the money is going to be flowing through. And it looks like this. The Emergency Management and Medical Operations, EMO, talks about readiness, fluid operations and response, and recovery. That we're right in the throes of all that right now. Office of Management, Finance, and Human Capital. How about the fact that they're paying a whole ton of money to people to go up to New York from the healthcare world so they can backfill and make sure that they have enough of the first responders to deal with the COVID crisis. So then you have your strategic national stockpile. How many have heard about that being depleted over the course of the last few weeks, right? Training and exercises, all these things happen within ASPR. Right now, training and exercises out the window. We're in operations. When this is done and we do a recap of what happened in this disaster, we will come to a place where there'll be training and exercises and lessons learned and all those types of things. I recommend that you go out to the Public Health Emergency, PHE.gov. You will see a lot of information on how things are managed and being able to do business with them. Now, when you start talking about disasters, this isn't just this disaster. If you're in the disaster response registry, you have the capacity to service any disaster. So here you have a lot of things that you wouldn't necessarily be thinking of. Obviously, masks, respirators, we've heard about all those, right? We've heard about the suits and making sure that you're testing kits and all those types of things. So those are in addition to these, but these are the regular ones. If you do any of these things, and these things like generators, cots, copiers, right? Office supplies, shredder bins, temporary labor, janitorial services. Some of the people that I've talked to in the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, that we've helped some are some of the folks that are doing the disinfectants in the schools. So when you think about this, all these people that are running around with their hair on fire don't have time to go to beta.sam.gov. They're not going to go to beta.sam.gov. They're going to go to the people they know or the people that get to them to become one of the 5 or fewer companies. Here's the fact about those 5 companies and who's buying from those companies. The people that are buying from those companies are buying what you sell. They're not calling or emailing you. They think that they're good. We got everything we need. They're going to continue thinking that unless you disrupt that pattern. And they're only going to let you in when they come to the conclusion that you deserve to be one of the 5. And right now, they don't even know who you are. So they're not even thinking of including you as one of the 5. That's the fact of the matter. So if the objective, number one objective, is to be one of the 5, the first issue is finding the buyers who are doing these purchases. Number one, buyers, critically important right now. Critically important. Sometimes it's more important to have the program people. Sometimes it's more important to have the buyers, depending on what you sell. Right now, critically important to find the buyers. Number 2, got to get to them. And your message better be good. Because if your message isn't good, then you're not going to win. It's just that simple. So this is the methodology that we're going to be talking about and how we can help. We have 132,000 program managers, actually 77,000 active buyers. We just did an update. 77,000 active buyers right now that are buying goods and services across the board. They're using GSA contracts like you were talking about, Jamie. They're using BPAs. They're using NASA Soup. They're using negotiated prepaid pricing to get masks and PPE equipment. They're using whatever methodologies they can get their hands on to get the job done. That is the number one thing for them. Get the job done. For you, it's get in front of these people. And when you think about what you guys do, what I want to know is what is one relationship worth for your company? One federal relationship. I'm not talking about just one sale, but you can do that if you want to. If you want to just do a sale, $5,000 to $10,000, $10,000 to $50,000, $50,000 to $100,000, $100,000 to $500,000, or over $500,000. Everybody's over $500,000 right now? Are you kidding me? Awesome. Ah, there's one. There's a couple. 50 to 100,000. There you go. Come on. You can do it. Let us know where you are. Okay, so we got some folks that are between 50 and 100, and then, oh, there we go. Awesome. So we're going to give you another 5, 4, 3. You can do it. 2, 1, and, oh, maybe. Oh. It must have woke up, Jamie. All right.
Indeed.
All right, here we go. This is what we got. Good deal. So guess what? It doesn't matter what one relationship's worth, with the exception that when you start to doing your pursuit, keep this in mind. One relationship for most of you folks is over $500,000. And I would say in most instances, we find that to be the case. Now, if you're doing office supplies and things like that, obviously, it's smaller, usually. So any questions before I jump into what exactly we can do to help you, and then we'll get you on your way, because I got another briefing at 1 o'clock to talk about air quality, enhancing your air quality in your buildings. Are you kidding me? Are there people that are going to be interested in that, Jamie Zell?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they are. They're going to be interested in that. So if you have any questions, raise your hand. Let me know. You can chat them out. We must be doing something right because we have people responding. All right, so the number one thing, get in front of those folks. First of all, there's 2 different ways that you can do this. You can do a market assessment first. $500 will show you what your market looks like, and we'll tell you how many buyers we have. We'll tell you kind of how things are shaped out. We do this a lot. If you want to do this, that's okay. That's fine. My recommendation is you do what really is next, because Jamie, you know what I'm going to say next, and that is that Market Essentials Lite, which somewhere along the line, I didn't finish that line, but that's Market Essentials Lite. This is exactly what you need with all, that's all this information that comes from the market assessment, and then does the research on the contacts, all the federal contacts in your market. Of the 77,000 active buyers, who's buying what you sell? So that you can tool it up and go after them. That is what you want to be doing right now, based on your NAICS, your PSCs, your GSA SINs, if you have them. We'll look at your competitors, your top competitors, and their buying patterns and their contacts. Most important, if you can identify, for me, who your competitors are, I will show you exactly who's buying from them so that you can turn around and go right after them. And then we give you an agency breakdown if you need to parse things by agencies. And if you would like to reach out to primes, we can get you prime contacts as well. Now, once you do that, you need to go out after them with a program that resonates with them. We're doing a briefing again in about an hour and a half. We're going to be doing the briefing for air quality. One of our clients is an HVAC company. You mentioned that earlier. And oh, by the way, they're getting their GSA. They have it already submitted. Hasn't even been finalized yet. But they have ultraviolet technology that kills COVID-19. Is that important now? Of course it is. That's why we're pushing it out into the marketplace. And we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. We have thousands of people that have seen it, that said, hey, these guys can kill COVID. Right now, everybody's thinking about masks. What's going to happen in a couple of months when people start going back to work? Are they just thinking about masks, or are they going to be thinking about the indoor air quality? And the fact of the matter is it actually enhances, you can actually pay for it using a contract mechanism called an ESPC contract, Energy Savings Performance Contract. If you save enough money, you can take that money and apply it to the purchase of the UV, and it doesn't even cost them anything over the course of time. It's a fantastic thing. And what we do is we take this, we do the interagency briefings called GovBrief, and we put it out, 1.2 million federal contacts, bam. We don't hit them all, but we know who we're after because we've already gotten enough people. 4 pre-briefing emails, 2 post-briefing emails. I don't even care if they show up. If they can't show up, guess what we do? We schedule a meeting, face-to-face or virtual right now. So we do the attendee follow-up, registrant follow-up, and anybody that clicks. We're after every single person. If they clicked on it, there was a reason. They may not be able to come to the briefing. They may have some other meetings. They may be tied up with a Netflix show today. Who knows? But we know for a fact that we're going to be after them. And we have a 90-day plan. It's $10,500. We're bringing on people all the time with this exact plan. This includes your market intelligence. This includes your briefings. This includes your push out to the marketplace to get your message out there, and you will have 25 plus follow-up meetings in 60 days. You will have that. And the rest of that time, we're putting out capability statements. We're pushing out we're doing personal introductions to these people, because guess what? We have $1.4 trillion plus $2.2 trillion in stimulus, and that's not even including what's coming down the pipe in infrastructure. But if you don't start getting in front of these people, it isn't going to matter a lick, because you got to do it now or you're going to fall behind the competition. Check us out on YouTube, LinkedIn. You can send me an invite. Make sure if you are a GSA contract holder, you go and sign up for Quick Fuse, QUIKFUSE.com. Reach out to Jamie. Jamie is at jamie@gsalogic.net. He's also GSA Jamie at Gmail, because he's just that famous. He has 2 emails. And you can reach out to him here. And the nice thing about this, I'll tell you this, folks. Jamie and I have been working together for years, over a decade now, right?
You bet.
And they have a 100% track record of getting their GSA contract. Everybody gets their GSA contract, 100%. They just don't stop. And GSA throws roadblocks, and you can talk to one GSA contracting officer and then talk to another one. And they'll give you 2 different answers. So they know the right answers. And oftentimes they are teaching the GSA contracting officers what they're supposed to do. Isn't that right?
We certainly have done a fair share of educating over the years, because you have new people that come and go, and they're in charge, but they don't know. They don't know any better. So a lot of times it's carefully and guiding them in a friendly way to show them what's in the thick of the details, so that we can get done what we all need to do and what we know is going to work because it's built right into the plan. So it helps. I'll also add to my phone number is right there at the bottom. Very friendly telephone kind of guy. Pick up the phone, give me a ring, talk about your situation. If you have questions about what's going on or moving forward on either a new schedule or tuning up an old one or an existing one, pick up the phone and give me a ring. Love to talk with you. Like to learn the stories of the different solutions out there. That's been a fun journey over the years, is to see the different things that people bring to the table with their GSA schedules. So, yeah, I'd love to talk with you. The other thing, too, Dave, I don't know if we could pop back real quick to a GovBrief slide. I want to just point out to the folks there, there's a good one right there. Think of this webinar that you've been watching today, except that it's Dave up here at the top, and it's you. And you're delivering the education message about your company and what you bring to the table. I just want to go back and repaint that again in a very simple, straightforward way, because it's like a commercial about you. And it's not, hey, buy from us. It's what's relevant in our industry, what we're seeing, what we know, and you're establishing yourself as an industry expert within your own environment. And that's powerfully important. That gets you known, that gets you remembered. And that's important because standing out in a sea of Me Too offerings is just super important. And I just wanted to point that out real quick, because I know sometimes we're trying to get a lot of stuff done quickly in these webinars. And I just wanted to go back and repaint a little picture to think of what you've been watching and what you've been getting from, that you're delivering the message to educate the clients that you want to be bringing into your circle.
Yep. And you can go to GovBrief. You can see those, govbrief.us, as well as YouTube. Just type in GovBrief. It'll pop up. And I appreciate that, Jamie, because it is the most effective tool that we have, and especially reaching program managers. There is no better way to do that. So I do appreciate that. If you need proposal writing help, this is Greg Clark, DKA Associates. You can reach out to G Clark with an E on the end at dkahome.com, and you can catch up with him. Rafael Marrero does the certifications as well as helping folks with their financing. That's one of the biggest things that he's got a great understanding of the stimulus package and how it affects small businesses. So reach out to Rafael. Great guy. Already did that. And April 14th is today. So whatever it is for next Tuesday, to give you an idea, I literally threw this together almost last minute. So whatever it is next month for May, we'll be there. We will see you next month. I'm Dave Lowe. Thanks for joining us. If you need anything else, please let us know. We will make sure that we follow up. There's some folks that ask for things that we will get you the information for. Hold on a second. We do have somebody that has their hand raised. Hold on one second, and we'll get this. Who has their hand raised? Let's see. Oh, let's see. Shavaja? Is that you? I have no idea how to say your name. Shivaji? Savaji? I don't hear you. Oh, self-muted. Okay, there you go. You there? Tell you what, make sure you shoot me an email. Let's see, it's a question here. Can you send periodic emails to buyers instead of cold calling? Would this be considered spamming? We send emails to buyers all the time. Some people get irritated, and that's just the way life is. But we don't bother them with things. We give them things that we think are important to them. When we send out GovBrief, there's a few, but we have very few complaints because we try to do our best to make it topical. And if we do our research right, and you know who you're going after, if they're buying from your competition, absolutely send them an email. Say, hi, I compete with these guys. I'll just let me know when you have something coming up that you're letting them know about, because we would love to play. And guess what? We can't knock your socks off if we don't get a chance to play. So that's one of the ways we do it.
Have a good day, Dave. See you soon.